Oh, I already did. I was like, yeah, screw it.
This is just getting interesting, huh? This is.
Oh wow! What did you think, Rhea?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Are we gonna look at screenshots or just talk about it? What happens here?
Well, I guess. How do I do that?
You can bring up screenshots if there's people on Twitter have like.
I'm trying to do on HBO Max now, just to.
Oh.
It's all timing out though.
I definitely was cringing a lot during that episode. Like I almost like started crying when I saw like Lady Lena. You know, that was very disturbing. I was like, please,
Yeah.
please God, nothing. Please don't let this happen. Even though I knew
No.
it wasn't going to happen, it was still very, very disturbing to look
This
at.
idea, because it's Game of Thrones, because you never know, because they actually go through that.
I'm trying to remember the original Game of Thrones. I don't think they made something like that drastic. Unfortunately, it's realistic. It's realistic.
Sansa was underage, but Sansa was older when she married Peter Dinklage's character.
I mean, granted, Alicent isn't much better. Like she's barely 15 as well.
15.
Yeah. But I think Sansa was like 16 or 17 when she married Tyrion. Remember?
I didn't watch Game of Thrones. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
me neither.
What do you think of this episode? What happened? Great story. I love all the acting.
Daemon, Lady Rhaenyra and Lord Corlys. That couple, like they're just so sinister. Like I didn't get a sense of like what their motivations were in the first episode, but it was super transparent that they are out for their own gains. Like in this episode for sure, like they could care less about their family, basically the Targaryens anyway.
Sure. And they reached out to Daemon right away after they realized they hadn't, like within. They're like, oh, we're gonna find another way.
This king is gonna screw everything up.
That's honestly, I even what's the Princess Rhaenyra? Is Rhaenyra?
Rhaenyra, yeah.
Rhaenyra,
yeah.
Even towards the end of the preview, towards next episode, how there should. Did you see the preview for next week, Rhea?
I was getting set up while that was playing, so I wasn't paying attention. Sorry.
So, I guess it's a kind of a spoiler but she's the next episode, or her father's already married, and there's another heir, and it's a boy, and she's really
time jump.
I'm starting to think like she and her uncle had a relationship before, and even though they were hostile in this episode, the way this series goes, you just never know. Maybe she could, in a way, go back to her uncle, depending on things that happen, all the politics in this family. I don't know.
I'm really just hoping that because she never really wanted to be queen. At least that's not the impression I got from her. She wanted to be, like on the forefront of battle and be a dragon rider. Like, that's where her true passion lied. And that's kind of where she showed her strength in this episode too, being able to confront Daemon and having like a really like, just like the ability to confront issues head on, which her father sorely lacks in ability to do so. And they even sort of like foreshadowed like you don't avoid a storm by waiting for it, you either go around it or through it. And this dude and her father just simply is just a stagnant individual, just waiting for bad shit to happen before he actually deals with it, which is really frustrating for me to watch.
Something I was thinking that we can make develop this after show type review reaction thing is talk about favorite moments of the show, favorite part of the show, the hour-long episode, and then also who to look out for. Because Game of Thrones, no spoilers, but the other season is, who do you think's doing the most mind games that you're not like? Who do you think you need to really look out for? Who wants to go first?
I will.
Okay, Aaron, what's your favorite part of this episode?
When she stood up to Damien, face to face.
Yeah, the dragons.
Yeah, with the dragon. That's my favorite part. And I think she's the one like pulling all the strings. I think she's gonna be the one coming on top then the season.
All right, Brian, did you have a favorite part of the episode this hour?
Not necessarily. I thought it was pretty good, the whole way through. Nothing really stood out is like, awesome. I mean, yeah, the part with the dragons is pretty cool and stuff like that. But no, the people you got to watch out for, dude. That king's advisor, man. You always got to watch out for the
Hightower,
worm
Otto
tongue.
Hightower.
Him
yeah.
too.
Yeah,
Him too. I put
yeah.
up them too. Yeah.
Nah,
He wanted her daughter
Yeah,
to get married, right, to the king.
He's subtle too,
He's,
and I don't.
He's schemy. Like
I don't know why that he was so. He really did not want Rhaenyra to choose that knight.
Rhaenyra, yeah.
Rhaenyra. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I messed up names. I'm sorry.
No, because
I
like her
gotta have a
aunt
list.
literally has the same name almost,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a letter difference.
Yeah.
yeah.
So there's like, why was he? He was really upset with, like, he towed the line. He's like, I know she can boss me around. He let it happen, but he really did not want. Like, I don't know why.
It was something about like the pre-existing relationships that those other knights had with the house, and I think with Kristen, the Sir Kristen, I guess his name is.
Yeah. Kristen,
he was the only one with like true battle experience, which Rhaenyra's really like enjoyed. I would love to see them like foster some sort of like kinship or something. Not saying like relationship, even though that's probably going to happen, but yeah, like yeah, I would like to see them interact more because I would like to see them, fight side by side and like actually bring this bring the army for the kingdom together and strengthen them to actually defend something, because as it keeps getting reminded, or we keep reminded of this in the show, that no one in the court, as far as like the knights, have actually seen true battle other than Kristen.
Also, I think because that was just a last moment thing that the king said go help and decide that I think he especially with like Daemon and his soldiers, in this Game of Thrones, you really look for people that are so loyal to that'll do whatever your bidding is. So I think he had someone lined up, and she totally effed his plan up just at the last moment. It's like something that he just handles, and the king said, "Go help with this," and he's like, "Ah, shit." So he had someone that he wanted to. I also, well, any scene that Daemon is in, he eats up the scenery. Matt Smith, he's just so good as this character. And then the princess, her acting ability is amazing. Like, I don't want to keep comparing to the old Game of Thrones, but a similar style character to Khaleesi. I like her so much better.
I think she reminds me of Khaleesi a bit, Daenerys, but I think she's more strong-willed than Khaleesi, because Khaleesi had to learn, right? I think she's learned from the start. Because Khaleesi, let's be honest, she was under the thumb of her brother. Her brother was a jackass in the first season.
And also, the person that I think to look out for the most after this episode is, like, I agree with you all, Hightower, because Valyrian, you kind of they're on the nose. You like know that they want to do stuff, but Hightower, you don't always know what he's thinking. In just the way he looked across the room, he didn't even wink, but it was like a wink. That actor is so good with his facial expressions. He's like, "Yep, checkmate." The Valyrian guy, he just looked at him, didn't flinch, just like, "Yep."
I think it's like basically Game of Thrones. They all want battle for the throne, right? Like Hightower wants is getting his daughter basically married to king, so they have an heir, so you have some power in that way, right?
Yeah.
Or Damien wants the throne. Obviously, the king's daughter wants the throne. That's what this is basically the same thing. Same basic storyline as Game of Thrones. It's just more in house, not with different families going at each other, right? This is more like within the house, though.
A question I had for you is Hightower's daughter. Do you think? Do you think, because we don't get the context, we just see her interacting with the king and her father, and the princess. Do you think she's on board with this? Because the one thing that was kind of revealing is like, if you want me to, it's not like. Do you think? What do you think her not an angle, but what do you think? Do you think she's okay with this, or she really feels trapped into what her father wants as well?
I think she feels trapped. Like she definitely has anxiety issues. She skin picks, like, and I'm a skin picker as well.
Okay,
like,
I didn't notice that.
But they zoom in on it a lot, and one of the knights even asked her, like, "Oh, you're so beautiful. Why do you destroy yourself?" Like they said comely,
Okay,
but that's
I missed
basically
that.
beautiful. Yeah. So like someone who like is in a position where they're like yeah, they're like really intimidated or they feel cornered, like they dissociate, so they start to skin pick, like at least like that's
Okay.
something that I picked up on. And I really feel sorry for Allison because she has all of these duties and projected onto her. She has to make sure Rhaenyra's relationship with her father is okay. She has to make sure that the king's relationship with his daughter is okay. Like, so she's like playing therapist with those two, and she's also doing whatever her father tells her to do to to appease those two at the same time. So yeah, like none of these things are like decisions that we see her like willingly make. Well, granted, she does willingly make them to an extent, like she's following orders, but she is definitely like at the behest of other people's demands of her.
I feel like we're still missing part of her
She doesn't
story.
want anybody down. She doesn't want
Her
anybody
scenes
down.
her scenes are normally with someone else and rely on the other person's storyline. But I kind of want to see what she, her react to some of the stuff and scenes alone. But yeah, I do feel bad for her. I think her father is extremely manipulative. What did you think of this crab stuff? Like, this is weird. This crab stuff.
Getting eaten by crabs. That was like one of the first scenes, right?
Yeah, but then to find out at the end that the Valyrians, Aaron, are the Valyrians mentioned in the other series? I can't ever remember.
I don't think so.
Targaryens are, but Valyrians,
Targaryens are the Valyrians. They might have been mentioned, but I don't think we see them in the Game of Thrones. I don't remember. But the crabs are like, what did they call the crab people in this episode? I forgot what they were called. Because there were actually people that controlled the crabs or something, right?
Crab people.
Were they just crab people?
What do you think of the visual effects in that? That's like one of the worst ways to go.
That's it?
The crabs did look a little CGI-y, but that's about it. That's
here's my thoughts on this. I used to think the worst way to go is to be blown apart by a dragon. But now I'm kind of thinking the worst way to go is the crab is be staked to a pole on a beach and have the crabs pick at my bones. Holy shit.
Oh, did y'all catch that's a nice like sort of like parallel to the king. So we know that his flesh is just sort of deteriorating, right? He had that back sore, and then now he has like this dead finger. I don't know what's going on with him, but basically he had to dip his hand into like that bowl of maggots to eat the flesh. And I'm just like, okay, this is like him volunteering to do that versus like someone involuntarily getting eaten by crabs. There's just all these different parallels in the episode, like when he had his back sore versus his wife going through like a painful C-section. Like, there's all these like different things where like, yeah, he's like, he has this ability to suffer in comfort basically, while other people outside of his, outside have to like suffer involuntarily,
I think it's fictional, but I don't know, if you're tied up and just sitting there, I guess they would pick at you. I don't know.
Well,
do crabs have teeth?
Well, they're claws.
I'll test a theory. Brian, leave. Okay, I'll test it.
Thanks, Brian.
I'll go kill someone and leave someone alive, and I'll see if the crabs will eat them on the beach. I'll test that theory.
H Sports asks, well, I think this would be kind of cool to do at the end of each watch.
Good, H Sports, very good.
Do our little review, give it a score too. Yeah, that's a horrible way to go. I don't know if that's accurate, but there's so many, and I think they're being controlled too by what are those people? There's like crab people. It's not just the crabs. What was that? Like, I didn't understand what was going on there.
Crab people, Crabfeeder. Like Jedi said, the leader's a Crabfeeder.
The leader is Crabfeeder.
So he leads you to,
he's like covered in like barnacles or something.
Yeah,
right?
it was like I almost got a Pirates of the Caribbean vibe. Like,
yeah, Davy Jones. I was thinking.
So I'm gonna do a clip out of this. This has been so great. Thank you, Ray and Aaron. I'm gonna do a clip out of this. Let's give a score to this episode and then compare it to the first. What was your favorite episode? So I will say 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. This surpassed my expectations. I didn't know. I was actually shocked when the princess was on the dragon rider that she would show up in that scene. Like I was hoping, like they also, I think the way they set it up too was that she suggested in a different scenario, and they talked her down, and then she just did what she wanted later on the episode. It kind of surprised me. I wasn't expecting that. The scenes with Daemon and the princess were amazing. Hightower, what is going on with Hightower? I expected the Valyrian king or the Valyrian parents to be like that, but yeah. And then the scene where the king announces to the council that he's going to get married, and I'm like, is he going to do it? Did you also did you know for sure he was going to do that, or were you kind of in suspense? What's he going to do here?
I actually thought he was gonna say no, I'm not gonna get married. I thought he said nope, my daughter's gonna be like.
I unfortunately got spoiled by Googling the names of the characters just to confirm their spelling. And then I just got hit with like, oh, he's going to marry Allison. And I'm just like, ah. So I kind of knew this, like sooner or later it was going to happen.
Okay.
I'm not surprised because you could, I actually thought he was going to say, no, I'm not going to get married. My daughter's going to be church. But I'm not surprised because there's going to be a family fight for who's going to become king right? Obviously Hightower is going to do it through his daughter because the daughter's going to be married to the king, and you have to heir, right? The boy, as you see the time jump, there's going to be a time jump. Obviously, his daughter wants to be king, not king, queen. Obviously, and obviously Damien wants to be king. So there's going to be a lot of infighting with the family.
Mm-hmm.
So
Protoss says all I know is the king has to fight 3 dragons: his mother, his daughter, and his sister. Oh, his sister they have a dragon?
Yes,
well, I didn't know his brother
that's his
had
cousin.
a dragon. He stole the egg. Do they actually have dragons though?
Wasn't that his cousin?
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, that's his cousin, not his sister.
Yeah,
his cousin. But do you know if they actually have dragons? Does anyone know? Because Protoss is suggesting that.
I think they're Targaryens, so they technically should have dragons.
Okay. Well, I will also be I'm going to be watching to see if they actually have dragons already. Because why would he steal it? He just stole the dragon egg for his potential son, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have a dragon already, right?
Because that egg was supposed to be for his brother's son, right? Unborn son that tragically died.
Daemon does have a dragon because he had his dragon behind him, and then
I thought she brought 2
dragon.
Oh, thanks for clarifying. I thought she brought 2 dragons.
No, he had his dragon. Yes.
I messed up. I thought she brought the dragon.
There was a lot happening. Yeah, there was
right. So I thought she brought a dragon and said, "Go on the other side of him," and I thought that's why he gave up the egg because he was surrounded. Yeah, I didn't know that was opposing dragons. Okay, all right. Well, thanks for clarification, everyone. Yeah, I missed things. So I guess we'll get to Rhea's score. Mine's 10 out of 10, and each episode keeps getting better for me. I mean, we only have 2 so far, but man, that was a banger of an episode. And that got you emotionally too. Because I was also concerned, like, oh God, are they really gonna do this with
Lena? Yeah. I will say I will probably give this episode a 9 out of 10. The reason it's a little lower is because Daemon's second wife, like her acting was just it was just
I agree.
Jarring. Yeah,
I agree.
I don't remember seeing his first wife in the first episode.
I don't know what she looks like. I want to see her.
Right. Because he said he made that joke about the sheep in the first episode.
I know. I'm just like, I got to see this person now.
Well, it's potentially not to be superficial about looks, but there's a lot of inbreeding there, so it could be you know what I mean, it could be yes, there could be there's not a reason to do that, but there could be it could be really an inbred situation, like, well, let's not talk about my actual wife. So do you prefer the first episode over this or the second?
I think they're both 9 out of 10s. Yeah.
9 out of 10s. 9 out of 10s. Okay. You'll let us know when we get a 10 out of 10. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah.
All right, Aaron, what's your score?
I'm going to give it a 9.2 out of 10.
You're being... Okay.
I really like this episode. I mean, I really like the conflict it's going to cause with him making a decision about who he's going to marry and who's going to obviously take the throne. With the Targaryen infighting, and you obviously see the betrayal at the end. Right, I like how I didn't like. Good thing they didn't go down the road that we all thought was not the road they should not go down. Good thing they didn't go down that road.
Well, it's
'Cause
still
that was-
not. It's not too much better. We have to be real.
I know, but
they use a comparison situation to make it, to make it less offensive. Well, it's
Yeah.
not as bad as this, but it's still.
as I said, my favorite scene is Damien in his Daenerys. Is that her?
Oh, yeah,
Rhaenyra.
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 Oh,
face to
Rhaenyra.
face.
Sorry, Rhaenyra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rhaenyra face to face, dragging a dragon, and hear him just like threatening him, scaring. I wouldn't say he scared him, but like he threatened. She basically stood up to him. You could see she's not scared. She's like I could see her being a good queen because she's a take charge kind of person, obviously. And Hightower, obviously, there's something there with his daughter and that, and how there's daughters like in an uncomfortable position. This is Game of Thrones typical storytelling, which is what makes the show great. And I think based on the preview for episode 3, that might give me a 10 out of 10.
Yeah. And you know what all the reviewers that got the preview said episode 4 is like amazing.
Okay.
Episode 4 is amazing, is what they're saying, because they only saw 4 episodes. And they said, if you're not on board, like I'm already on board. They said, you're going to be on board by episode 4. They all said it. Like they said that we won't give you 2 episodes. You have to watch 4 episodes in a row to all the screeners. With Daemon and Valyrians, you don't think Daemon would take off the Valyrians offer that they offered to the king with his daughter to join forces, or do you think they'll all be separate? Because that would also be creepy too. That would really make it harder to like a villainous Daemon, because he takes on multiple wives. Would he do that to strengthen his opportunities to take over?
I think that was the Valyrians' attempt at playing by the rules or playing by tradition.
Mhm.
Now that they know that they've seen that they can't get what they want by following tradition, they're willing to go outside of that and just team up with Daemon and be like, you don't even have to marry within our family. We're just going to team up with you and take over.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I agree. Because
okay, they said that. I missed some of the dialogue.
No, I
there.
just sort of read like the
That's what
subtext
that's-
of the
Yeah,
what
'cause
happened.
That's what your interpretation of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
because he obviously you could portray the king because he sees the king as weak, defensive. Like the Westeros can be defensive because the king is not taking up any action. Basically, he's told us. Remember, he told Daemon that the king is just like eating and a bunch of other stuff. So he doesn't like that. So he didn't like that, and like the king is being lazy, not taking up any action. So he goes to Daemon and see Daemon is lust for that. Has lust for that throne, and he sees that, right? And so yeah, Rhea's right.
That's definitely my interpretation. They're done
Yeah.
playing by the rules. They're just
Yeah.
like the king is just like doing whatever he wants at this point. So let's just do whatever we need, whatever we
Yeah.
want to do now.
If
Oh,
King
something else I just thought of for our little after show reviews. Favorite characters as of now in the series. 2 favorite characters.
Oh,
Rhaenyra, yeah, the princess.
Princess. And who's your second favorite?
Allison, I really want to see her like become more of like I want to see her, speak up more, and I feel like she is someone who is keeping everyone grounded, but who's keeping her grounded? So that's like a big question mark for me. She's a very interesting character for me.
Mhm. I say my 2 favorite characters as of this second episode. And things change. That's the great thing about Game of Thrones. By the time you get on with it, it typically could be something completely different.
yeah.
I love the princess, the way she just handles stuff. I like that she doesn't even ask for forgiveness, like you say.
No.
Do it. Ask for forgiveness later. She just does stuff. And she's like, "This is what I'm going to do." Matt Smith's acting as Daemon. Every time he's in a scene, he's like, "Wonderful! Like we're going to start a war. Wonderful!" I love that line. But I have to say, Hightower's very intriguing because I don't know all his angles yet. So right now, even though I love Matt Smith and his character, and I do agree with you, his second wife was one of the weaker actors or actresses on this series. Her scenes too it was something off.
Yeah.
And usually they pick like in the first Game of Thrones, there's some great female actresses that really did some great scenes. And I hope she does better in the next episode.
Do you
I
think?
hope
Do
she
you
does
think there's
better.
a chance? Do you think there's a chance you see the Red Witch in this series because
I don't know.
because she's older. She's older than 100 apparently, right? She's like
I don't know. Honestly, Aaron, I have such a bad memory. I forget lots of stuff from the OG Game of Thrones
I
series.
know.
So
I'm just, you know what
kinda
I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
The one that puts you on fire, right?
Yeah. She has some. She's made
She's
some.
like immortal or something.
She
She's like
potentially could be. It's possible that might be an interesting cameo. Well, that's what Protoss. That's what Aaron's suggesting.
I
So
think she
so-
could be.
Even though I don't like what the Hightower does to his daughter, like puts her up to things that are like, how could you do that to your daughter? Even
How-
though
How could the Valyrians just be okay with it, you know?
Yeah.
Putting their
Yeah.
12-year-old daughter up.
True. But the way he just handles the scenes and that actor, I like that actor. The way he just looked, he didn't even have to blink or nothing. He just looked. He's like, yeah, right at the Valyrian guy.
The
And,
lizard. That guy's
so
that's the actor
so
who
those
plays
are my
Lizard.
two. Those are my two favorites right now.
That's the actor who played Lizard in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Aaron, who's your two favorite characters as of episode 2? We gave our rating. I was a 10 out of 10. Rhea was a 9 out of 10. Aaron was a 9.2 out of 10. Now, as of second episode, who's your two favorite characters?
The princess,
Mhm.
because she's very, very strong. She's very strong. She takes no crap from anyone. I like that. I don't care if you're a woman or man. If you take no crap, I respect that. And I do like Matt Smith's Damon. He gives me Ramsay Bolton vibes. Like he's manipulative and he'll say things that will get you interested on their side, but really he'll betray you just to get his way. So yeah, those two.
Ooh, Will Wallace just came up with another great question for our after show. First season, who do you think is the most you know how they do high school, most likely to succeed? Who's most likely not to succeed in season 1? Who's going to Rhea's going to go first. Rhea's going to go first.
The king's
The
going to
king.
die either by natural causes or by murder.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
the king.
All right, pick a second one. Who else do you think is not going to make it?
Well,
out of season one?
either.
Let Rhea go.
Okay.
Oh, Corlys Valyrian, the
Valyrian?
husband. Yeah.
Yeah, those are my two as well. That's what I was,
My two is definitely the king, and I'm not 100% sure either Corlys Valyrian or the Hightower. One of those two.
in my wild card pick, I'm going to pick a third wild card. Would be Hightower's daughter,
Yeah, that's a
Allison.
good bet. That's a good bet.
Allison. That's my wild card pick of who's not going to make it. And we can revisit that question each after show because things change.
They're so foretelling that the king's death. I mean, you just know you can just see it, huh? From the beginning, first episode, you can see it.
Mhm.
Like
King is so dead.
they're foretelling the death.
Hightower's making his daughter the queen. In that world, what is better?
In what world is that?
That goody two-shoe knight is dead too. Oh, Protoss X, I hope not.
Kristen. Oh,
yeah, I like him.
Yeah. He'll have an honorable death, I guess, like the glory of battle and all that, maybe.
You know, that would be an epic.
Oh, yeah.
You're on to something, Protoss X. I want to see the rematch when they're not. Whoever thought that those games would be a nice civil setting when they're less civil and they're in war?
No.
When when it's not an attorney and they're jousting. Oh my God, the Daemon and Chris. That's one of the things I'm looking forward to the most.
Those games weren't civil at all with Daemon in them.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what we're going to wrap up the next 3 minutes. I want to thank Rhea, Aaron. Thank you, Brian. I know you got a little tired, but I am loving this series. I love that it premieres on Sunday where we can really dive deep into the show. I love this show. And we get Rings of Power this week, Hans.
September 2nd,
Rhea,
Friday.
Can we work on Hans? Get him on that both? I don't know. I think he really would like this show. I don't know. I don't know what Hans is doing.
Do you know when it drops? Do you know what time it drops? That's the question.
No, I have to find out.
Because we want to do watch along for that too.
Well, it's going to be hard because we have to see what time. Yeah, and I know people are busy. But what were you going to say, Rhea?
Yeah, I let him know he can use my HBO Max, but he might be trying to get I don't know. I just let him know, hey, it's there if you want to use it.
Yeah. All right, Samir, crabs and fire. Yeah, and okay, I have one more question before we end the show.
Go ahead.
You can only pick one. You're gonna go. You're gonna leave. You're a character in Game of Thrones, and you have to go out. Which way do you want to go out? Do you want to go out by someone stabbing you in the back,
No.
being burned by fire by a dragon, or the crabs?
Dragon.
You're in Game of Thrones. Your character's gonna die. At least you get to pick.
No, dragon for me. Being burned.
Dragon.
Stab.
Stab in the back. I think I'm stabbing the back too. I do
Oh,
not
you
want to
know-
be burned alive by fire, and I do not want to be.
Well, being
picked
burned,
apart by
being burned
crabs.
alive, being burned alive is considered, it could be considered honorable death, though.
Yeah,
We're
stabbing
stabbing back.
stab in the back is is this like
It's a betrayal. It's a betrayal thing. Like, and,
yeah. At least you're like
um,
facing your opponent. Being stabbed in the back is being betrayed by someone you thought
Yeah.
you cared about you. So I get the betrayal part. I'm just thinking of the least violent, at least violent way. Yes. Happy thought to leave off the after show is how would you want to die in Game of Thrones? All right. I think that's where we'll wrap it up. Go check out Rhea. She's doing these great streams with that people donated to
Stand up to cancer.
Stand Up to Cancer, and she's got some great recommendations. She just played Wave Race. She played some
Doom.
TurboGrafx.
Yeah.
She played Doom.
Yeah.
So go check her out. Great content. Aaron, go check out Aaron. Aaron really helps me with these watch parties along with Brian. We're a team, Aaron. We're a team. We gotta come together for Rings of Power and get Hans in on this. Yes. So I think that's what we're gonna say. It's 10:30 for me. Nice early night. I appreciate everyone, and I want you all to have a great night, great work week. Stay safe. We'll have fun with more watch parties, and I'm just over the moon about how great this content is. So happy. Bye, everyone.
Bye.